Welcome back to Watkins Glen International, getting set for the second Firestone Indy Lights race of the day. Race number one, of course, quite a carnage as several drivers, in fact, points contenders. Here's Dylan Battistini, who was the leader in points going in. He had a problem. J.R. Hildebrand, the pole sitter, Frank Pereira, and Bobby Wilson had his car damaged. There was a lot of work, a lot of thrashing going on back in the paddock area between races, and it looks like that Frank Pereira is not going to be able to start this second event, but I think everybody else is going to be okay.
Yeah, we saw Pereira. They got the car back on the track, but obviously something wasn't right on that left front. Here they are jacking it up, and they'll go right to that left front. Just has a lot of extra camber or something still bent in there.
Logan Gomez will start on pole for this second event. Pablo Donoso will line up alongside. Anna Beatrice and Jeff Simmons in the second row. You take a look at the starting lineup at the top of your screen. As let's hope, Robbie, that this second race isn't nearly as car damaging, so to speak, as race number one was, and we can see a lot more competition on the racetrack.
Yeah, I think really the one thing we got to look at the start of this is we had the inversion. We inverted the top six. So we got Matos and Antonucci that finished first and second in race one. They're back in the fifth and sixth spot. So let's see how these guys time the start, and let's look for them after they get through turn one. They go through the fast S's, the fastest section of the racetrack, 165. That's going into the bus stop. That's going to be the best place to pass. So let's see what they do here in turn one. You've got to take advantage of things at the start and on the restarts.
During race number one, the best battle all race long was between Gomez and Donoso, who are starting on the front row. Let's hope that continues. We're on board with Jeff Simmons, starting in fourth position. The field comes off of corner number 11, gets the green flag, and here we go again. Look at Anna Beatrice and Richard Antonucci.
Yeah, Bia, look at that
inside.
She's got that done. Bia in the green and white car there, close. Everybody's sorting themselves through.
Oh, well, somebody didn't make it. A couple of cars. One into the inside wall.
Yeah, that was Johnny Reed in the red car there, and I think that was Davidson that was hung up there on the kind of the white curbing as he spun.
Davison, of course, had problems in the first race, and he has problems in the second race. That's a local yellow only right now.
And there's Matos. He's going to settle. We got a full course yellow, so he backed off right there. I was wondering why he didn't try and stick his nose in, but we had a yellow as they were coming into that bus stop, and he had to slot into his position.
Boy, a nice move by Anna Beatrice on the drop of the green flag as she went inside and was able to get the lead away from the front row starters, Gomez and Donoso. Here it is once again. Look at Anna there on the left of your screen.
Down the inside, holding Gomez off on the outside. He can't come in. She's got the corner very clean, very professional. Everybody sorts themselves out for the most part. There's Johnny Reed in the number 9 getting to the inside barrier, and we saw Davison, who was hung up on the outside. You'll see Davison in the right part of the screen there. He goes right there and looks like he's just kind of hung up there in car 11.
I think Cindy Yoloman may have been the other driver that went off wide in the corner, but Johnny Reed, as you can see, there's Davison. He's stopped. And Johnny Reed climbing out of the car, so he's okay, but we are under caution once again here at Watkins Glen International. Second race of two for the Firestone Indy Lights, just about to go back to green here at Watkins Glen International. Anna Beatrice, car number 20, is the leader of the race. She started back in third, but watch what happened on the start from Jeff Simmons on board.
And there we're looking from Simmons. There's Bia in the green and white 20 car. She's timed it perfectly. They're coming to the start-finish line right there. Antonucci's pushing in there. Bia's going on the inside of Logan Gomez. She has the inside. Everything's very clean. Antonucci pushes up Pablo a little bit. He gets to the outside. Matos with a run down the inside there in the red and yellow car. He's going to have to back it off a little bit because the yellow comes. Here we go.
The green flag comes out. We're racing once again, and this is the replay of the original start. And there you see Cindy Alleman making contact with Johnny Reed, sending him into the tire barrier. And Cindy goes off course, but is okay. Now here we go to the restart. Paul Blevin waves the green flag, and we are racing once again. That's Rafael Matos now down there to the left of your screen as he tries to go around Jeff Simmons, and does.
Yeah, he gets that done. He's going to want to carry that momentum, and he's going to want to get on the tail of Antonucci and just really press him in the red and white car in front of him.
And again, we saw a car there at the top of the screen go off course in turn number 1. That's Davison once again. He's had a very, very tough weekend. Anna leads him down the backstretch as the side-by-side battle is between Pablo Donoso and Simmons, and Donoso gets the spot.
He sure does. Right into the bus stop. He had a good run. He drafted up alongside his teammate Jeff Simmons. Had the inside. Jeff had to back off the throttle and give the spot up.
Let's get down to Mike King.
Yeah, busy time down here for Derek Steppen, who is one of the race strategists for the Sam Schmidt team, the Healthy Choice car that is driven by Anna Beatrice. And Derek, I know we're going to have a local yellow, it looks like, down there on the restart, and you were trying to see who the car was. A heck of a start and a heck of a restart for Anna here at the beginning of Courtney Duel number 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was our teammate down there in the local yellow, but she did good on a restart, starting third. She got on the inside and took advantage of it. She knows what she had to do.
You know, how important for you guys to get her into victory lane?
It'd be great.
You say she does not talk much inside this race car, a lot of concentration.
That is correct. She just gets in there and drives and doesn't say very much at all.
So that's Derek Steppen. We're going to let him get back to work. One of the race strategists here with Sam Schmidt Motorsports. And as he said, her teammate unfortunately brought out that local yellow. So sweet and sour to report here from the Sam Schmidt Motorsports pit stalls.
Well, Anna Beatrice is going to have her hands full, so to speak, because that number 7 car, Richard Antonucci, is coming. He's taken over the 3rd position and now sets his sights on the leader. At the stripe, the interval was less than 1 second.
And when we talk about Antonucci filling the mirrors of Anna, remember, they are also teammates at Sam Schmidt Racing. Look at, there's Logan Gomez, and there's Rafa right on his tail. He's going to pop out. Nope, can't get it done, has to tuck back in. But obviously, Rafa has now seen where Antonucci is up there, and he knows he needs to get by Logan right now. With every lap that passes and that gap grows, just makes it all the tougher for him to get up the challenge for the lead in this race.
Gomez started on the pole for this race, has fallen back to 3rd spot now, and that is Rafael Matos looking for an opportunity to get the spot. Oh, couldn't do it there either.
Yeah, tough place to pass. I mean, you really have to be alongside that car you're passing before you get underneath them. If not, you're just making a high-risk move.
And look at Antonucci, who has come within less than a car length of the leader, Anna Beatrice. We continue to watch that battle for 3rd position. 2 good battles going on here for the lead and for 3rd spot. Antonucci drops back just a little bit, maybe trying to get a run on Beatrice. She has been just so impressive in her rookie season here in the Firestone Indy Lights Series. Her best finish was 3rd, and she has done that on a couple of occasions. The first race at St. Petersburg, she finished in 3rd spot, and she also finished 3rd at Iowa. So
yeah,
she's equally good on the road courses and on the ovals.
And you'd have to say right now, when you just kind of see what Bia and Richard are doing here, running 1st and 2nd, is the Sam Schmidt group of engineers and drivers went back and said, okay, what did we learn in race 1? What do we got to change? Just those subtle changes to just make our cars a little bit stronger. And right now, these 2 are pulling away.
Dylan Battistini has also had just a miserable weekend here at the Glen. That car is off course, looks like down in turn number 1. It's a local yellow at the moment.
Yeah. And Battistini, he had made up a lot of spots. And there's Bobby Wilson, obviously some damage to his left front. You know, was that part of what took place with Battistini being up there in turn 1? We'll have to see if we got a replay of that and can sort that out.
Also a very bad weekend for Bobby Wilson. Well, the full course caution has come out. And so at the completion of lap 6 on lap number 7, the caution is flying once again. Here is the contact. Yep.
Yow. And that was Bobby Wilson that came down the inside of Dylan. And he just said, okay, I'm coming down to the apex. And 2 cars can't get in that one. So let's take a look at it again. There's Bobby Wilson down the inside. Tough call. I mean, he was fully alongside him when Dylan tried to come down, and both guys had incident in the first race. Now we're out of the second race. For Dylan, when you take the big picture of points championship here and how valuable those points are, tough day.
Anna Beatrice leading here at Watkins Glen International. Next up for the Firestone Indy Lights is another high-speed oval. Expect lots of side-by-side racing as cars traveled over 180 miles an hour on the high bank corners of the Nashville Superspeedway. The Nashville 100 airs on ESPN2 Thursday, July 17th at 2:30 Eastern. Green flag about to come out once again. Anna Beatrice leading Richard Antonucci off the 11th corner. Here we go once again. Watch Antonucci to see if he's going to try to make a move. He will to the inside, and he'll get the lead.
Very cleanly, you know, Anna gave him space, and they sorted out. But look at the gap back from right there from Anna back to Gomez. That's still, you know, they're probably 3-4 car lengths there.
I'm a little surprised at that. I thought Anna would perhaps be able to hold off the challenge for a while longer, but obviously Richard had a good jump and was able to get the lead. Donoso and Simmons are side by side once again.
Close, close. That's going to slow them both up, sure enough. We're on board with Jeff there, and there's the battle. Jeff's the second yellow and white car, and Pablo's got the green engine calling.
That's Ari Lyondike Jr. behind Jeff Simmons. And behind him is Daniel Harrington, who's had a very, very good weekend in car number 6.
Yeah, he's had a very good run here in the second race, driving for Michael Crawford. And, you know, hasn't had a lot of time in these cars, but it's showing he's got some ability given the chance. Now, I'm really surprised that, you know, there's Matos right there in the red and yellow car. I would say after what we saw in race 1, he has the fastest car out on the racetrack. But right now, it just shows you how difficult it is to pass on these road courses. I mean, you have to be able to get through these fast corners and get back to the power so you can get up alongside these guys in the braking zone.
There are only really 2 places where you have a good chance to pass, and that is at the end of the front stretch here into turn number 1, the right-hander, and then in the back stretch as you're headed to the bus stop.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's where this turn comes out. Look, he dives in there, and he's got it done just as we spoke. So now he needs to just focus and click off as many clean laps as he can and just concentrate so he can close that gap to be up in front. I don't think he needs to worry about Gomez because I think he's got a faster car, so he doesn't need to pay attention to what's behind him. Just focus on clicking off clean laps.
Meanwhile, Richard Antonucci has stretched out his advantage over Anna Beatrice. It was 1.3 seconds at the line. Now here is Lyondike and Harrington as they battle for the 7th position.
Harrington definitely challenged him, just kind of trying to fill his mirrors as they went through bus stop there.
There's the leader, Richard Antonucci. Anna Beatrice coming along. Rafael Matos now in 3rd. And the 4th place car is Logan Gomez.
And Antonucci's thought process is, okay, I got the lead, no mistakes. He's thinking points championship. You know, we had Battistini, the leader, coming in here. He's lost a lot of points to Antonucci, so I'm sure there's somebody that's kind of talking to Antonucci to let him know where he's at points-wise for the big picture of the championship.
At the moment, he is in the points lead by 30 over Rafael Matos, with Dylan Battistini falling down to 3rd position in the point standings. 4th is Anna Beatrice, and 5th is Ari Lyondike Jr. That's the way they run right now. And it looks like Pablo Donoso may have something for Logan Gomez here in the next lap or so.
Well, this is they're coming along the front straightaway. Here's where Rafa made the move as they went into 1. Pablo's not close enough this time. And as you said, the next really good passing zone is after the S's here. This is the fast sweeping S's up the hill, and then as you get into the bus stop, that's your next good passing zone.
11 laps completed. We're on lap number 12 of the 2nd Watkins Glen 100. We'll be back in a moment. The Firestone Indy Lights Series on ESPN2 is brought to you by Firestone, the first name in Indy racing. Coming off another caution, Cindy Alleman involved in an accident. We're ready to go back to racing right now while the leaders are moving toward the start-finish line. Let's take a look at the Firestone lap leaders, and not much to show you so far as Anna Beatrice led the first 9 laps, and then Antonucci took over and has been leading ever since. And he's got a good jump on Matos, and that could be a very important factor in this race.
Yeah, and really that could be the race for the lead. Is, you know, in my mind, I thought if Rafa had a chance at him, it would be on this restart. And Antonucci timed it beautifully. And even look at Anna right now. She is right on the tail of Matos. She may have a look down the inside of him as they go in there. Sure enough.
And we may have a pass for position here. Let's see if Beatrice, nope, couldn't do it.
Whew, she was up alongside, but just when they first got to that braking zone, Rafa just sucked in the breath a little bit and said, I'm going to go, you know, 2 feet deeper.
Well, coming into the weekend, Dylan Battistini was the points leader. It hasn't been exactly a great weekend for him. Mike King has caught up with him back in the garage area. Mike?
Dylan Battistini came into this weekend at Watkins Glen as the Firestone Indy Lights Championship leader. Dylan, unfortunately, you're not going to leave that way. Probably 3rd in the championship heading to the next round. What happened there in turn 1?
You told me I didn't see him coming. I was just minding my own business. On the apex of the corner, suddenly I felt a thud and the steering was broken, so I have no idea what happened.
Dylan, interesting season for you so far. You've never run ovals. You have 3 oval victories to your credit. Road and street courses seemingly are forte, but you haven't had much luck there so far this season.
No, not really. I mean, we got rammed off in qualifying at St. Petersburg, and then an engine blow up, and then a 4th, which was my best result on a street track. And then here, we've just not been near the pace, so not a good one this weekend.
That's Dylan Battistini.
Well, it's July 4th weekend. The Firestone Indy Lights drivers took part in a very special event on Thursday. Dylan Battistini, Brent Sherman, a number of IndyCar drivers participated in the Pros versus G.I. Joe Challenge at the Corning Museum of Glass. The drivers played video games against soldiers currently stationed in the Middle East using live internet connections and webcams. It's a first-of-a-kind event, a big success for the drivers and the soldiers who are serving their country at Camp Virginia in Kuwait. So Richard Antonucci appears to be on his way to his 2nd victory of the year. He won the 2nd race in St. Petersburg earlier. Paul Blevin waves the white flag. 1 more lap to go. You can see the interval there between 1st and 2nd. Matos 1.1 seconds behind, and really the race could have been lost right there, Robbie.
Yeah, and that's turn 10. That's where you start picking up the gas before you take the green flag right here on the start-finish line. And with Rafa just getting out and upsetting the car on that white curbing, that just gave Antonucci, you know, that 2.5-second gap. And right now, Rafa's just been a little quicker each lap, but there was too big a gap on the restart for him to close it in.
Through the so-called bus stop or chicane or inner loop for the final time. Matos not really in striking distance here. Antonucci's going to have to make a mistake for this thing to go Rafa's way.
Yeah, and I don't think, you know, from the caliber of these 2 drivers, you won't see any mistakes. But remember, this is the 2nd of 100-mile races. This is not necessarily the norm for these guys in terms of how much mileage they're doing in a day with Indy Lights cars. Yeah,
and you would think as we have thought all race long that physically this has to be really demanding on these drivers. 200 miles of racing, plus it's not an oval where you're basically steering and on the throttle all the way. You're shifting gears many times during a lap. Yeah, physically there's a much greater demand than there is on the ovals mental. So here we're coming to turn 10. This is right where we saw Rafa get up on that white curbing, and as a result, that was the gap that Antonucci had to win this race, where he's coming home right now. Richard Antonucci wins race number 2 here at Watkins Glen International, beating Rafael Matos by 0.7 of a second. We'll be back to talk with him in just a moment. Stay with us. Richard Antonucci beats Rafael Matos, Anna Beatrice, Logan Gomez, and Pablo Donoso in the 2nd race here at Watkins Glen International. Down to our Firestone victory lane. Here's Mike King.
Victory lane celebration underway, and there he is, the winner, Richard Antonucci, as he comes out of the Lucas Oil car in victory lane for the 2nd time this season. Great restart on lap 24. It looked like that was the difference, Richard.
Yeah, we worked a lot on this morning's weaknesses to say, and we were strong on the restarts instead of being strong on the long runs. But that worked off very well because we saw there were so many yellows between yesterday and today. It just paid off really well. I got to thank, I can't thank enough actually, Lucas Oil and LifeLock and Sam Schmidt Motorsports and all my guys on the 7 crew and within the team just to get me here. And we've had a really reliable car. We've had no failures, touch wood, so far this year, and that's made us get points every race, whether they're good or bad.
There he is, your race winner here, race number 2 at Watkins Glen, and he will head to Nashville Super Speedway as the Indy Lights points championship leader.
Rafael Matos is just 27 points behind Antonucci, followed by Dylan Battistini, Ari Lyondike Jr., and J.R. Hildebrand. Beatrice, Simmons, Gomez, Sherman, and Donoso round out the top 10. Thanks for joining us here at Watkins Glen International. We'll see you on Thursday, July 17th at 2:30 Eastern for the Nashville 100. For Robbie Buell and Mike King, I'm Bob Jenkins. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.